Alright guys, so we've casted for an hour and 20 minutes. I did a sample run of 10 minutes and I was able to do 15 throws in that 10 minutes, which should give me about 90 throws per hour, which should give me about 360 bullets. Hopefully somewhere in there I have close to 400. I'm sure I'll have some throwaways, which will leave me with about 300 bullets, which is about what I was looking to do. Some of these early ones I could tell they have a little bit of, just a couple little holes and stuff in them like that, but the vast majority of them threw great. The mold dropped fine once I got into a rhythm. I stopped, not necessarily because of time, but the way the Pro Melt furnace works, the amount of pressure that's gained through the weight of the lead pushes onto the spout, and as the level goes down, once it gets within about an inch, the spout really needs to be adjusted for further flow, and I don't do that. I just go ahead and stop and then fill the pot back up and get going. So these are our bullets. So it's a 265 grain hollow point. Actually, let's go ahead and weigh one of these and see what we're actually working with. Even though it'll be weight without a powder coat, it'll get us in the ballpark. Alright, so our bullet weighs 249.5 grains. That's pretty lucky because it's going to open up a little bit more load data for us at that bullet weight. Working at the 1250 feet per second out of the Henry, we're going to be kind of in between the standard 45 Colt loads and your Ruger Thompson Contender only load. So we're going to be working maybe a little bit off paper with this, and having the 250 grain bullet's going to help us to be able to do that a little bit easier. Alright, so we got the 300 that we were hoping to get. One thing that I do is I add at least 2 extra bullets to each set of 100 so that I have one for a smash test and then one for possibly something going wrong during reloading, me dropping and losing one or getting damaged or something. We had, those are our rejects. We just had a few, not too many rejects. And then I also take whatever's left, which was about 20-25, and put in its own bin, and it goes up there with all the other bullets that I cast, just for extras, things like that, in case I need one. Our next step is going to be to start powder coating these. Alright, so for powder coating these, we're going to utilize the Eastwood Hot Coat Powder Ford Light Blue. So far seems to be about the same as anything else. Cleaned out my bucket and I used a protein powder scoop, about half of it, and poured in here. As you can see, it's not a lot. Let me make sure you can see that pretty well. Yeah, I don't use a ton, but that'll be plenty for at least 100, and then most likely I'll be able to probably do 200 with that. So I put in 100 at a time. I don't do, some people have been doing really large loads with this, but I haven't had much luck with it. And then just shake, rattle, and roll. We'll see what kind of coverage we got. Alright, so that's about 30 seconds. Alright, so as you can see, a little bit thicker than what I like. Looks like they've got a couple little nicks. I'm going to swirl them a couple more times. And then we're going to toss them into the wire basket and shake them out the best I can and throw them in the oven. I can tell you just from this little bit of handling that this is much more durable and robust than what I was getting with the Harbor Freight powder. Absolutely. Alright, and we toss this in the oven. "20 minutes and we should have bullets." After an hour, we've gotten all 300 of our bullets powder coated. The Eastwood powder looks better. It seems to flow better than the Harbor Freight powder does. There does seem to be a little bit more nicks in it from the shake and bake method. In addition, the powder coat, the Eastwood powder coat, sticks together much more strong than the Harbor Freight does. So with the Harbor Freight, I could easily pull them apart, and I also water quenched them, which seems to help them come apart. With this just air drying, I may have to stand these up on their bases from now on, because I lost several bullets due to them being stuck together and having to use a vise to get them apart. But that's it for powder coating. For the foreseeable part of load development, these 300 should clear us through that period. We're next going to have to size these utilizing the NOE sizer die. We're not going to have to gas check them, so the rest of this should go smooth. Alright, so we purchased the powder for our Henry 45 Colt load development. We're going to first try 4227. We're going to start off with 20 greens, then 20.5, 21, 21.5, and 22. Looking to get 1250 feet per second. We're also going to do this with a Magnum pistol primer as well, with a large Magnum pistol primer. The same loads. We're also going to try AA9. With Accurate Arms 9, we're going to start with 19.5, 20, 20.5, 21, and 21.5. And as we did with 4227, we're going to try AA9 with a Magnum, a large Magnum pistol primer as well. The same loads. What we're looking for here is pressure signs, as well as that 1250 feet per second that we're looking for bullet expansion. We're also going to utilize AA number 7. Got pretty high hopes for AA number 7 and 4227 are kind of the two that I'm leaning, or I'm thinking might be the way to go. AA7's 15, 15.5, 16, 16.5, and 17. We're also going to try Little Gun by Hodgdon. Appears to be just kind of, appears to be a shotgun type powder. Just like everything else, I've never used it before. So we're going to start with 19, 19.5, 20, 20.5, and 21. As you can see, we have an awful lot of kind of slower burning powders around 20 grains. And lastly, we're going to try Trail Boss. Some IMR Trail Boss. I've got quite a bit of this, and it is a go-to for me with 45 Colt. I'm going to try to do a max load with the Trail Boss and see what we're going to get for feet per second. Who knows, we may be able to get to 1250, and we may find some great accuracy there. I don't know. Alright, so we've got some cases primed. Got some Magnum pistol primers in some of these, and then standard in the other. I take a magic marker and go around the primer if it's a Magnum. Then I'm also going to write the load on the side of the case. Alright, let's go ahead and get these loaded up. Alright, gun nuts, we're down here at the range going to be doing some testing with the 45 Colt Henry. I'm going to go through one shot each, trying to find speeds and pressure signs, and hopefully we're going to find this 1250 pretty quick, and we can really begin the load development from there. So 22 grains of 4227 comes in at 1255, 21.5 comes in at 1240, 21 grains comes at 1221. So it looks like we need to be around that 22 grain area for 4227. And we do have some unburnt powder, and that's with the regular pistol primers. It also looks like we're having a little feed issues. Significantly higher feet per second with the Magnum pistol primers. We had 1250 with 20.5 grains of 4227, or it took us 22, so a grain and a half difference. And we got all the way up to 1352 with 21.5 grains, so still no big pressure signs though, but we are having feeding issues, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot the rest of these, and we'll catch back up to you in the reloading room. Alright, good nuts. Welcome back to the reloading room. So let's talk about some of our results here. We have no discernible pressure problems at all with any of our loads. Okay. However, what we do have, and let's see here. Okay, this is starting to come in. As you can see, the 4227 loads go from 1213, 1121, 1221, 1245, 1255 with stand-up pistol primer. Then with Magnum pistol primer, we got 1194, 1253, 1286, 1352, and 1310. Not bad. Then we get down here to AA number 9. We got 1515, 1483, 1550, 1549, and 1638. AA number 9 with a Magnum pistol primer, 1500, 1543, 1591, 1640, 1683. AA number 7, 1331, 1354, 1409, 1420, and 1492. Lil gun, 1427, 1495, 1553, 1573, and 1599. And then the max loaded trail boss, 1064, 1064, 1052, 1045, and 1068. Alright, now what's the problem with that? That's right, we were looking for about 1250 feet per second. So it looks to me like with the loads we were working with, the 4227 and possibly the AA7 are the closest, but the rest of these are going to have to be worked back down. Now, I don't typically like to burn slower burning powders like AA number 9 much lower than this. This is really, I'm getting to the point where I'm having a fair amount of fouling and stuff from it. And using Magnum pistol primers at this kind of lower type pressures just does not seem like it's a great idea for the AA number 9. In fact, I don't think it's that great an idea even for the 4227. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut out AA number 9 for our next setup. I'm going to do AA number 7, little gun, 4227 with standard pistol primers, and Trail Boss is kind of out of the running. Even though Trail Boss actually gave us some accuracy, I shot at the target and did pretty well. Now this brings us to our next problem. Sorry about that. This plus this does not feed in this Henry. I do not know what's going on. I'm going to work on it a little bit more. Maybe I need to seat it past the seating groove. I don't like doing that. It's what a seating groove is for. I've been dealing with it with this Henry since I've got it. That it has a tendency to not want to feed anything that's even remotely a little long. But to me, this is getting a little ridiculous. I don't know if there's maybe a little bit of work I can do. What it does is, when it pulls back, the bullet basically does not exit the tube. So the bullet just hangs just the tip of it right in the tube, and it can't kick the bullet up to run up the feed ramp, or the feed rail. So I'm going to talk to some guys on the forum, and I'm going to take a look at this. Worst case scenario, I'm just going to have to not use the seating groove, and I'm just going to have to seat it a little bit short, which is going to change loads. If I decide to do that, I'm going to do it now, so that all the loading from now on will have the shorter seating depth. And this Trail Boss 8.8 grain load is no longer good if I have to seat it a little bit deep, because that's the big thing with Trail Boss, is you don't want to compress it under any circumstances. So this portion of our load development has given us an idea what to do with some of these powders. 4227s looks like it's going to be pretty good for maybe even some accuracy tests. AA number 7 looks like I just need to go down a touch. So, and little gun down quite a bit. But it gives us a good idea, good direction. It's also pointed out a problem we had with feeding, which I knew could be a problem, and I should have tested. I should have dummy tested these to find out if it was going to be an issue beforehand. But I didn't. C'est la vie. So, next step we're going to do is we're going to figure out what to do with this seating depth, and then we're going to load up 12 of the 21.5, then 12 of 40 or 22, and then maybe go up to 22.5 and do 12 more of that. And then down here with a AA number 7, being that we're still kind of trying to find our speeds a little bit, maybe knock that down by a half a grain, so 14.5, and give that a shot, and then kind of try to find our little gun load as well. But I think that's going to be the next step, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it. And until then, stay safe, have fun. I'll see you when I see you. Laters.